Ladies and gentlemen, I want you to hear me loud and clear today. You cannot win a war if you do not know your enemy. Throughout history, great battles were fought and lost because armies underestimated the opposition. They did not study their enemy's tactics, they ignored the warning signs, and they walked blindly into the battlefield unprepared. And today, many of us are doing the same in our lives. You see, the enemy does not always come with flashing lights and warning signs. The enemy is deceptive. It whispers in your ear that you are not enough, that you cannot change, that your dreams are too big and your past is too heavy. It tells you that fear is stronger than faith, that doubt is greater than destiny, and that failure is final. But I'm here to tell you today, that's a lie. A soldier does not step onto the battlefield without armor. He does not march into war without a strategy, and neither should you. You must prepare yourself, you must know what you are fighting against, and be ready to stand your ground when the battle gets tough. The enemy wants to wear you down. He wants to make you quit. He wants to make you believe that you are powerless. But I came here today to remind you, you are stronger than you think, and you are not fighting this battle alone. Because let me tell you something, the war has already been won. Victory is not a possibility, it is a promise. You may have scars, but they are proof that you survived. You may have stumbled, but that only means you are still in the fight. Victory begins with awareness. Before any battle can be won, the enemy must first be identified. A soldier does not step onto the battlefield without knowing what he is up against. A boxer does not enter the ring without studying his opponent's weaknesses and strengths. And in life, the same principle applies. Whether in faith, personal struggles, or challenges we face, the first step to overcoming any obstacle is recognizing what it is and how it operates. Many people go through life unaware of the battles they are fighting. They experience frustration, setbacks, and failures without realizing that there is an unseen force working against them. They mistake symptoms for the root cause, treating the surface issues without ever addressing what lies beneath. But no war has ever been won by blindly swinging a sword in the dark. Awareness is the key that unlocks the path to victory. Imagine a man trapped in a dark room. He stumbles, he falls, he reaches out, but he cannot see what is around him. He does not know where the door is, where the obstacles are, or even which direction he should move. But the moment light enters the room, everything changes. He sees the dangers, he understands the layout, and he knows exactly how to navigate his way out. The enemy thrives in darkness, in ignorance and confusion. But when awareness shines its light, the battle shifts in your favor. The greatest deception of the enemy is to make you believe he does not exist. If he can convince you that there is no battle to fight, that your struggles are just random, that your failures are just fate, then he has already won. He operates in the shadows, planting doubt, fear, and discouragement. He disguises himself as ordinary problems, small distractions, and innocent temptations, hoping that you will never recognize him for what he truly is. But when you become aware, when you begin to see the patterns, when you recognize that the opposition you face is not coincidence, but an orchestrated attack, then you gain the power to fight back. In life, awareness is more than just knowledge. It is understanding. It is one thing to know that something is working against you, but it is another thing to discern how it operates. Just as a military general studies his enemy's tactics, his past battles, and his weaknesses, you must also study the forces that try to hold you back. What are the recurring struggles in your life? What are the doubts that always creep in when you try to move forward? What are the distractions that pull you away from your purpose? These are not just accidents. They are strategies designed to keep you from victory. Fear is one of the enemy's greatest weapons, and it thrives in the absence of awareness. When you do not understand what you are facing, fear takes over. It paralyzes you, keeps you from making decisions, and blinds you to the truth. But when you become aware, fear loses its grip. When you understand that challenges are not meant to break you, but to build you, you no longer fear them. When you recognize that failure is not final, but a stepping stone, you no longer let it stop you. When you see that every obstacle is an opportunity to grow stronger, you begin to embrace the battle instead of running from it. The power of awareness is that it gives you the ability to prepare. A warrior who knows his enemy can build a defense. He can anticipate attacks, strengthen his weaknesses, and strategize his victory. The same applies in life. When you become aware of your enemy, you can take action. If doubt is your enemy, you can equip yourself with truth. If fear is your enemy, you can arm yourself with courage. If distractions are your enemy, you can train yourself to focus. You are no longer caught off guard because you see the battle for what it is. Awareness also gives you clarity. So many people live in frustration because they do not understand why they feel stuck. They blame circumstances, other people, or even themselves without realizing that there is something deeper at play. But when they step back and examine the patterns in their lives, when they take the time to truly see what is happening, everything becomes clear. Clarity leads to confidence, and confidence leads to action. When you know what you are fighting, you fight differently. A soldier who knows his enemy does not hesitate, he moves with purpose. A leader who understands the obstacles before him does not waver, he finds a way through. And a person who is aware of the forces working against them does not surrender, they rise above. The enemy hopes that you will stay blind. He hopes that you will accept defeat, that you will never question the struggles you face, that you will never seek to understand. But the moment you open your eyes, the battle changes. The moment you become aware, the power shifts. The moment you recognize the enemy, you gain the upper hand. Victory does not begin when the war is over. It begins when you decide to see. And once you see, you can never be deceived again. The greatest weapon of the enemy is deception. The enemy does not always come as an obvious threat, marching openly toward you with warning signs flashing. Instead, it moves in the shadows, working subtly, planting seeds of doubt, distractions, and temptations. Deception is powerful because it is not immediately recognizable. It operates quietly, shaping thoughts, influencing emotions, and leading people down paths they never intended to take. The danger of deception is that by the time one realizes they have been misled, damage has already been done. That is why awareness and discernment are essential in every battle. Deception often begins with small compromises, things that seem harmless at first glance. A distraction may not seem like an attack. It may even appear to be something good. It may come disguised as an exciting opportunity, an urgent responsibility, or an innocent indulgence. But slowly, that distraction pulls you away from what truly matters. It drains your focus, steals your time, and shifts your priorities. What once seemed like a minor detour becomes a road that leads far away from your purpose. The enemy knows that if he can stop you outright, he can simply redirect your attention long enough for you to lose sight of where you are meant to go. Doubt is another powerful tool in the enemy's arsenal. It is the quiet voice that whispers, "Are you sure you're capable? Do you really think you can do this? What if you fail?" Doubt is deceptive because it does not always scream loudly. It often settles in the background of the mind, subtly influencing decisions. It makes people question their potential, hesitate when they should act, and second guess what they once believed to be true. It causes individuals to shrink back from challenges, not because they lack the ability to overcome them, but because they are unsure if they should even try. The enemy does not need to defeat a person if he can simply make them doubt themselves enough to give up on their own. Temptation is perhaps the most deceptive weapon of all. It does not come looking like a threat. It comes looking like an opportunity. It presents itself as something desirable, something that feels good, something that seems harmless or even justified. It never shows its consequences up front. It only highlights the immediate pleasure or benefit. The enemy knows that most people will not willingly walk into destruction, so he dresses temptation in an appealing disguise. It could be the temptation to take shortcuts, to compromise values, to chase after what seems easier instead of what is right. Before long, what began as a small temptation turns into a stronghold, and the person finds themselves trapped in a situation they never intended to be in. One of the greatest deceptions of the enemy is making people believe that they are not in a battle at all. If he can convince someone that there is no real opposition, that the struggles they face are just random circumstances, or that their weaknesses do not need to be confronted, then he has already gained the advantage. He creates a false sense of security, lulling people into complacency. A person who does not believe they are in danger will not feel the need to be vigilant. They will lower their guard, ignore the warning signs, and walk straight into traps set before them. The enemy also uses deception to distort the truth. He twists reality, manipulates perspectives, and makes people see things in a way that is not accurate. He can take something good and make it seem burdensome, turning responsibilities into resentment. He can take something harmful and make it look desirable, convincing people that what they want is more important than what they need. He creates confusion, making it difficult to distinguish right from wrong, truth from lies, or progress from destruction. When people begin to believe these false narratives, they make choices that lead them further away from their true purpose. Another deceptive tactic of the enemy is isolation. He makes people believe they are alone in their struggles, that no one understands, that they cannot ask for help. He convinces them that their challenges are unique, that their failures are too great, that no one else has faced what they are facing. But the truth is, everyone faces battles. Everyone encounters distractions. But when deception convinces someone that they are the only one, it keeps them from seeking the support, wisdom, and encouragement they need to overcome. The enemy does not need to use force if he can use deception. If he can keep people distracted, doubtful, and misled, then he has already won half the battle. That is why it is essential to stay alert, to question the narratives being presented, and to seek clarity. The most dangerous lies are the ones that are mixed with truth because they seem believable. The only way to combat deception is to remain rooted in truth, to be aware of the tactics being used, and to recognize that not everything that looks good is beneficial. Many people fall not because they are weak, but because they never saw the attack coming. They thought they were safe when in reality they were being led down a path designed to weaken them. The enemy works in ways that are not always obvious, and that is why discernment is so important. Seeing through deception requires more than just intelligence, it requires wisdom. It requires the ability to look beyond appearances, to question what seems too easy, and to recognize when something is pulling you away from your true purpose. The war is not always fought with swords and shields. Sometimes it is fought in the mind, in the heart, in the daily choices made. Deception is a silent enemy, but it is not invincible. The moment it is exposed, its power begins to fade. The moment someone recognizes the distractions, the doubts, and the temptations for what they truly are, they regain control. The battle is not just about strength, it is about awareness. Because when deception is uncovered, it loses its ability to lead people astray. A soldier does not step onto the battlefield unprepared. He does not walk into war without his armor, without a strategy, without the training necessary to face the enemy. He knows that battles are won long before they are fought, in the preparation, in the discipline, in the choices made every day to strengthen himself for what is ahead. Just as a soldier equips himself for war, we must also arm ourselves for the battles we will face in life. These battles come in many forms: challenges, hardships, opposition, moments of fear and doubt. But those who are prepared will stand strong, while those who are unprepared will be overcome. Preparation is not an option, it is a necessity. Life does not wait for us to be ready. Challenges do not announce themselves in advance, giving us time to gather our strength. They come suddenly, often when we least expect them. That is why preparation cannot begin in the middle of the battle. It must begin before the fight even starts. A soldier does not start training the day war breaks out. He has already spent months, even years, preparing his body, sharpening his skills, and strengthening his mind. If we wait until the storm arrives to start building shelter, we will find ourselves exposed and vulnerable. Preparation starts with wisdom. Wisdom is the foundation of every victory. It is not just knowledge, but understanding the nature of the battle, the tactics of the enemy, and the strength within us to overcome. Wisdom teaches us what to fight and what to walk away from. Not every battle is meant to be fought, and not every enemy deserves our attention. There are distractions disguised as battles, things that drain our energy but do not move us forward. A soldier does not waste his strength fighting meaningless skirmishes. He saves it for the war that matters. In the same way, we must discern where to focus our energy, where to invest our time, and what is truly worth fighting for. Courage is another essential weapon in preparation. The greatest warrior in the world is useless if fear paralyzes him. Fear is the enemy's way of keeping people from stepping into their purpose, from taking risks, from believing in their own strength. Fear whispers, "You are not ready. You are not strong enough. You will fail." But preparation breeds confidence. The more prepared a soldier is, the less he fears the battle. He knows that he is trained, that he has built the necessary strength, that he has the tools to win. In the same way, when we prepare ourselves mentally, emotionally, and spiritually, we stand with boldness. We do not shrink back at the first sign of difficulty because we know we are equipped to face whatever comes our way. Faith is the final piece of preparation, the force that holds everything together. Even the strongest warrior, even the most skilled fighter will face moments when his strength alone is not enough. That is when faith steps in. Faith is the belief that the battle is not fought alone, that there is a greater purpose, that even in the hardest moments, there is a reason to keep going. A soldier who fights without a cause will not last long. He needs something to believe in, something worth defending, something greater than himself that gives him the will to endure. In life, faith gives us that same endurance. It reminds us that no matter how fierce the battle, no matter how great the challenge, we are not alone. Preparation is not just about the battlefield, it is about daily discipline. It is in the habits we form, the choices we make, the small victories that strengthen us for the bigger ones. A soldier does not wait for war to start training. He disciplines himself every day, knowing that when the time comes, his preparation will make the difference between victory and defeat. In the same way, we must train ourselves in wisdom, courage, and faith long before the battle arrives. We must be intentional about building resilience, about sharpening our minds, about standing firm in what we believe. Life will test us. There will be days when the weight feels too heavy, when the obstacles seem too great, when doubt creeps in and makes us question whether we have what it takes. But those who have prepared will not be shaken. They will stand firm, knowing that they have already built the strength they need. They will not be caught off guard because they have seen the battle coming and made themselves ready. Preparation is the difference between those who fall and those who rise. It is the difference between those who give up and those who press forward. It is not always easy. It requires discipline, sacrifice, and commitment. But in the end, those who take the time to prepare, those who equip themselves with wisdom, courage, and faith, will find that no battle is too great for them to overcome. The enemy's greatest strategy is to break your spirit before the battle even begins. He does not always strike with force, but with fear. He does not always attack with weapons, but with discouragement. He whispers doubt, sends distractions, and makes you question your strength. His goal is to make you give up before you even have the chance to fight. He wants you to believe that you are too weak, too unworthy, too incapable of overcoming. But those who stand firm, those who refuse to be shaken, those who trust in a greater power beyond themselves, will find that no opposition is strong enough to defeat them. There will always be resistance when you are walking in your purpose. The moment you step forward in courage, expect the enemy to push back. This is why standing firm is not a passive act. It is an intentional decision. It is a refusal to be moved by fear, to be discouraged by setbacks, or to be distracted by lies. It is the unwavering belief that no matter what comes against you, you will not be shaken. The enemy may try to wear you down, to exhaust your energy, to plant seeds of doubt in your mind. He may use circumstances, people, or even your own thoughts to convince you that you are losing. But standing firm means you do not measure victory by how things look in the moment. You measure it by the strength you refuse to surrender. Fear is the enemy's favorite weapon because it stops people before they even start. Fear keeps dreams locked away. It keeps people from taking risks, from stepping out, from believing in their potential. It makes small obstacles seem like mountains and small failures seem like permanent defeat. But those who stand firm do not let fear dictate their decisions. They acknowledge it, but they do not submit to it. They recognize that fear is a liar, that it magnifies what is not real, and that the only way to defeat it is to move forward in spite of it. Fear only has power over those who bow to it, but when you stand firm, when you face it head on, it loses its grip. Discouragement is another tool of the enemy. He will try to make you believe that your efforts are pointless, that no matter how hard you try, nothing will change. He will remind you of every past failure, every moment of weakness, every reason you should give up. He wants you to focus on the weight of the battle rather than the strength within you to fight it. But discouragement only wins when you allow it to. Those who stand firm understand that opposition is not a sign of defeat. It is a sign that they are on the right path. No one faces resistance for standing still. It is only those who are moving forward who feel the force of opposition. The enemy does not attack what is no threat to him. If you are facing opposition, it is because you are carrying something valuable, something powerful, something that the enemy wants to stop before it reaches its full potential. Weakness is another illusion the enemy tries to create. He wants you to believe that you are not strong enough to endure, that the battle is too great, that you do not have what it takes. He will use every failure as proof that you are not capable. He will make the struggle seem endless so that you feel exhausted, worn out, and ready to quit. But the truth is, strength is not measured by how easy the road is. It is measured by the decision to keep going, even when it is hard. Those who stand firm understand that strength is not about never feeling weak. It is about refusing to let weakness define them. It is about trusting that even in moments of exhaustion, there is a greater power holding them up. Standing firm does not mean you will not face hardship. It does not mean you will never feel afraid or discouraged. It means that no matter what emotions arise, no matter what obstacles appear, you do not let them determine your course. It means you keep your eyes fixed on the truth, not on the lies the enemy tries to tell you. It means you hold on to faith when everything in you wants to give up. It means you remember that opposition is not a sign to stop, but a sign to press forward with even greater determination. The enemy wants to shake you, to knock you off course, to make you doubt who you are and what you are capable of. But those who remain steadfast, those who refuse to surrender, those who trust in the power that is greater than themselves will find that no opposition is stronger than their resolve. The battle may be intense, the road may be difficult, but those who stand firm will always overcome. The enemy's greatest strategy is to break your spirit before the battle even begins. He does not always strike with force, but with fear. He does not always attack with weapons, but with discouragement. He whispers doubt, sends distractions, and makes you question your strength. His goal is to make you give up before you even have the chance to fight. He wants you to believe that you are too weak, too unworthy, too incapable of overcoming. But those who stand firm, those who refuse to be shaken, those who trust in a greater power beyond themselves will find that no opposition is strong enough to defeat them. There will always be resistance when you are walking in your purpose. The moment you step forward in courage, expect the enemy to push back. This is why standing firm is not a passive act. It is an intentional decision. It is a refusal to be moved by fear, to be discouraged by setbacks, or to be distracted by lies. It is the unwavering belief that no matter what comes against you, you will not be shaken. The enemy may try to wear you down, to exhaust your energy, to plant seeds of doubt in your mind. He may use circumstances, people, or even your own thoughts to convince you that you are losing. But standing firm means you do not measure victory by how things look in the moment. You measure it by the strength you refuse to surrender. Fear is the enemy's favorite weapon because it stops people before they even start. Fear keeps dreams locked away. It keeps people from taking risks, from stepping out, from believing in their potential. It makes small obstacles seem like mountains and small failures seem like permanent defeat. But those who stand firm do not let fear dictate their decisions. They acknowledge it, but they do not submit to it. They recognize that fear is a liar, that it magnifies what is not real, and that the only way to defeat it is to move forward in spite of it. Fear only has power over those who bow to it. But when you stand firm, when you face it head on, it loses its grip. Discouragement is another tool of the enemy who will try to make you believe that your efforts are pointless, that no matter how hard you try, nothing will change. He will remind you of every past failure, every moment of weakness, every reason you should give up. He wants you to focus on the weight of the battle rather than the strength within you to fight it. But discouragement only wins when you allow it to. Those who stand firm understand that opposition is not a sign of defeat. It is a sign that they are on the right path. No one faces resistance for standing still. It is only those who are moving forward who feel the force of opposition. The enemy does not attack what is no threat to him. If you are facing opposition, it is because you are carrying something valuable, something powerful, something that the enemy wants to stop before it reaches its full potential. Weakness is another illusion the enemy tries to create. He wants you to believe that you are not strong enough to endure, that the battle is too great, that you do not have what it takes. He will use every failure as proof that you are not capable. He will make the struggle seem endless so that you feel exhausted, worn out, and ready to quit. But the truth is, strength is not measured by how easy the road is. It is measured by the decision to keep going, even when it is hard. Those who stand firm understand that strength is not about never feeling weak. It is about refusing to let weakness define them. It is about trusting that even in moments of exhaustion, there is a greater power holding them up. Standing firm does not mean you will not face hardship. It does not mean you will never feel afraid or discouraged. It means that no matter what emotions arise, no matter what obstacles appear, you do not let them determine your course. It means you keep your eyes fixed on the truth, not on the lies the enemy tries to tell you. It means you hold on to faith when everything in you wants to give up. It means you remember that opposition is not a sign to stop, but a sign to press forward with even greater determination. The enemy wants to shake you, to knock you off course, to make you doubt who you are and what you are capable of. But those who remain steadfast, those who refuse to surrender, those who trust in the power that is greater than themselves, will find that no opposition is stronger than their resolve. The battle may be intense, the road may be difficult, but those who stand firm will always overcome. The war is already won. Though the battle may rage, though the enemy may strike with deception, fear, and opposition, those who stand firm in truth will never be defeated. Victory is not a distant possibility. It is a present reality for those who refuse to surrender. The enemy may try to convince you that the struggle is endless, that the weight is too heavy, that the odds are against you, but the truth remains. No matter how fierce the fight, those who walk in faith, courage, and purpose will always overcome. The greatest tactic of the enemy is to make you believe that victory is uncertain, that the outcome is still undecided. He wants you to question whether you have the strength to endure, whether your efforts will lead to anything, whether it is worth continuing the fight. But this is deception. The enemy knows he has already lost. His only hope is to make you doubt your own power so that you walk away from the battle before you can claim the victory that already belongs to you. A battle is not truly won on the battlefield. It is won in the mind. The right mindset is what separates those who rise from those who fall. If you believe that you are defeated, you will act like you are defeated. If you believe that the battle is too great, you will hesitate when you should advance. But if you know in your heart that victory is already secured, you will fight with confidence. You will push forward, not out of desperation, but out of certainty. You will endure not because you hope for a favorable outcome, but because you already know how the story ends. The mindset of victory does not mean that the battle will be easy. There will still be challenges. There will still be moments of struggle. But those who carry the mindset of a conqueror do not let difficulty shake them. They do not crumble under pressure because they understand that pressure is part of the process. A soldier does not panic at the first sign of battle. He expects it. He does not question whether he will make it through. He is already convinced that he will. He moves with purpose because he has prepared, he has trained, and he knows that the fight will only strengthen him. Obstacles are not signs of defeat. They are opportunities to prove the strength that is already within you. Every challenge is a chance to grow, to sharpen your skills, to strengthen your character. The enemy may try to use obstacles to break you, but those who see with the eyes of victory understand that even the hardest battles serve a purpose. No struggle is wasted. No hardship is without meaning. Everything you face is preparing you for what is ahead, equipping you with the endurance, the wisdom, and the resilience you need to step fully into your purpose. Unwavering faith is the foundation of victory. It is the belief that no matter what happens, you are never fighting alone. It is the confidence that even in your weakest moments, there is a greater power sustaining you, lifting you, carrying you forward. The enemy wants to shake your faith because he knows that once it is gone, doubt and fear will take its place. But those who remain steadfast, who hold on even when they cannot yet see the victory, will always prevail. Faith is not about ignoring the reality of the battle. It is about knowing that the battle does not have the final say. Many people give up not because they lack the ability to win, but because they do not realize that they have already won. They become weary, believing that their efforts are in vain. They lose sight of the truth and let temporary struggles convince them that victory is out of reach. But victory is never out of reach for those who refuse to quit. It is not about being the strongest, the fastest, or the most skilled. It is about standing firm, refusing to be moved, and trusting that every step forward is bringing them closer to what is already theirs. The enemy thrives on confusion, but truth brings clarity. And the truth is this: you are not fighting for victory, you are fighting from victory. The war is already won. Every battle you face is simply an opportunity to claim the triumph that has been secured for you. No force of opposition is strong enough to overcome those who stand in truth, who walk in faith, and who refuse to be shaken. No matter what comes against you, no matter how fierce the fight, those who stand with confidence and perseverance will always overcome. So, my friends, do not be afraid. Do not be deceived. Know your enemy, prepare for battle, and step forward with fearless faith, because when you do, no force in this world can stand against you. The war has been won. Now it's time for you to claim the victory. Thank you.